Hello everyone, this is message 6 from me, if you can believe it. Firstly, I want to say a big thank you to our house captains and John Luca for making their videos last week. It was really good. If you haven't seen that yet, please check out last week's video. Next, I want to give a little notice about Virtual Sports Day that's coming up on the 11th and 12th of June. It's been emailed to you and your parents. Essentially, it's sort of different sporting events that you could do at home using stuff that you've got at home. But it means big house points. Now, before lockdown, Wilberforce House was in the lead for house points. So I'd love to bring home the house cup. So please get involved in that. I think you get double points if your parents get involved as well. So parents get involved too. My final little notice at the moment is about someone who's definitely going to be involved in Sports Day, and that is Edward James. Now, before lockdown, Edward James was selected for a National Rugby 7 squad. Obviously really good. And then since he's been in lockdown, he's been training pretty thoroughly to make sure that he's in sort of peak physical condition for when he comes out the other end of this. So I'm going to show you a quick video of what Edward's been getting up to now, and then we'll finish the rest of the video. All right, great work, Edward. Great work, Edward. Now, the last thing I want to talk about today, gents, is our Christian value for this half term, which is thankfulness. Thankfulness during particularly like a time like this might be a bit of a challenge. So I thought I'd talk about an example from Mr. Wilberforce. And it's this week I had the pleasure of being on the podcast with the chaplain and Mr. O'Donnell. And I spoke about this story that I'm going to tell you now. I think it really highlights the importance of being thankful even when things aren't going well. So, Wilberforce, as you may not have known, had really poor health throughout his life. He had stomach problems that they had from like a young age all the way to the end. He had really bad eyesight that caused him problems. He had to wear a brace for his back later in life because his back caused him so many problems. He had 2 daughters that died at a young age. I think he had quite a few kids, but he had 2 daughters that died at a young age. And he was so ill on one occasion that he couldn't actually attend one of his own daughters' funerals because he couldn't leave the house. He was at such a risk. It was in this moment when the hearse left with his family and he had to stay at home, the Wilberforce did something quite remarkable, I feel. So as it left, Wilberforce sat down and he decided to write a list of all the things that he was grateful for, all the things that he was thankful for. Now, I find that really, really striking that sometimes I feel like we can be very thankful and grateful when things are going well for us, but when things aren't going well for us, that's the real test of when we think about what we're actually thankful for. Now, recently I went to some training on mental health as well. And one of the things they said there was that actively writing down things that you're thankful and grateful for on a regular basis, whether that's daily or weekly, it's actually a proper strategy that's recommended to combat negative mental health problems and can have some really, really positive effects on you. So I thought I'd give that a go this week, and then my challenge for you, gentlemen, is to try and do this at least once a week, if not once a day, to try and be grateful for something and see what the impact is. So the 3 things I wrote down today. The first thing I'm grateful for is technology. Now, I love technology at the best of times, but at the moment, during lockdown, I really appreciate how I can see my friends still. I can make videos like this to share with you. I can watch films at the touch of a button at home. And I think about if lockdown happened when I was at school, it would be a very, very dull experience compared to what you gentlemen are receiving. So technology. Second one, my family. This week I've seen some of my family for the first time in sort of over 12 weeks. And I'm so grateful that there's people out there that really care for me and that I care for, and that we've been able to spend time together, particularly after not seeing them for a long time. So family. And then the last one, the NHS. So for the obvious reasons, for all the sacrifices they've put in place for the nation at the moment, but also during lockdown, my wife and I have had to take our daughter to loads of different appointments. We even had an ambulance trip at one point. And I'm really grateful for the care and attention that she receives, so that she's better now for it. And it did something that I couldn't do, and I wouldn't be able to help her with. So I'm really grateful for all the NHS staff and the people that have helped us during lockdown. So they're things I'm really grateful for. And even just talking through it now, I feel a lot more positive and optimistic about the things that I've received that I'm grateful for. And I'd like to encourage you to do that, whether it's right now after watching this video, whether it's first thing in the morning, last thing before you go to bed, and see the impact of being thankful. Stay safe, gentlemen, and I'll speak to you soon.